The story of Nathanael, also known as Bartholomew, is one of the most intriguing among Jesus' first disciples. He appears for the first time in the Gospel of John, where his initial reaction to the news of the Messiah was skepticism. However, a brief yet profound encounter with Christ changed his perspective forever. Do you want to hear more stories about the characters who were part of Jesus' life and the biblical universe as a whole? Give this video a like and subscribe to the channel, because every day we reveal a new character with an inspiring story. Who was Nathanael? Unlike well-known disciples such as Peter and John, Nathanael is mentioned only a few times in the Gospels. His name appears only in the Gospel of John, while in the Synoptic Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, he is likely identified as Bartholomew. This suggests that Nathanael was his personal name, while Bartholomew may have been a surname or a reference to his lineage. Nathanael was a friend of Philip and probably came from Cana of Galilee, the same town where Jesus performed his first miracle, turning water into wine. He was a devout man, knowledgeable in the scriptures, and eagerly awaiting the coming of the Messiah. However, his faith was put to the test when he heard where Jesus came from. Nathanael's skepticism. Nathanael's story begins when Philip finds Jesus and, excited, runs to tell his friend about the discovery. We have found the one Moses wrote about in the law, and about whom the prophets also wrote, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph. John 1 verse 45. For Philip, there was no doubt that Jesus was the Messiah. However, Nathanael was unimpressed. His response was filled with skepticism and even scorn. Can anything good come from Nazareth? John 1 verse 46. This reaction reveals something important. Nathanael had a prejudice against Nazareth. The town was small and insignificant, with no prophetic importance. He expected the Messiah to come from a grand place like Jerusalem or at least Bethlehem, as the prophecies foretold. Despite Nathanael's doubt, Philip did not try to argue or convince him but simply said, "Come and see." This response is a powerful invitation. Philip knew that one encounter with Jesus would change everything. The transformational encounter with Jesus. As Nathanael approached, Jesus surprised him before he even spoke. Looking at him, Christ declared, "Here truly is an Israelite in whom there is no deceit." John 1 verse 47. Nathanael was taken aback. How could Jesus know him without ever meeting him before? How do you know me? Then, Jesus replied with something even more mysterious. Before Philip called you, when you were under the fig tree, I saw you. John 1 verse 48. At that moment, Nathanael's heart completely changed. He immediately responded, "Rabbi, you are the Son of God. You are the King of Israel." John 1 verse 49. The meaning of the fig tree. The mention of the fig tree carries deep significance. In Jewish culture, it was common for those who studied the scriptures to meditate under a fig tree, a symbol of peace and spiritual reflection. Some scholars suggest that Nathanael was praying or meditating about the Messiah before Philip called him. Jesus demonstrated that he knew Nathanael even before meeting him in person, proving his divine nature. This small detail deeply touched the disciples' heart. Jesus promises to Nathanael. After Nathanael's confession, Jesus made a remarkable promise. "Because I said to you, I saw you under the fig tree. Do you believe? You will see greater things than these. Truly, truly, I say to you, you will see heaven open, and the angels of God ascending and descending on the Son of Man." John 1 verses 50 to 51. Here, Jesus was referring to Jacob's vision in Genesis 28 verse 12, where Jacob saw a ladder connecting heaven and earth, with angels going up and down. Jesus was saying that he himself was the bridge between God and humanity. Nathanael would go on to witness many other miracles and signs of Jesus' power. He became one of the 12 disciples and was likely present at key moments such as Jesus' resurrection and ascension. What can we learn from Nathanael? Nathanael's story teaches us valuable lessons about faith, prejudice, and spiritual transformation. 1. Jesus sees beyond appearances. Nathanael doubted Jesus because of his humble origins, but Christ looked at his heart and saw sincerity. God does not judge us by external circumstances, but by what is inside us. 2. Encounters with Jesus change lives. Philip did not argue with Nathanael. He simply brought him to Jesus. And that encounter was enough to turn a skeptic into a devoted believer. 3. God knows us before we come to him. Before Nathanael saw Jesus, Jesus already knew him. He knows who we are, our doubts, and our struggles, yet he still calls us to follow him. 4. True faith requires humility. Nathanael did not let his pride keep him from the truth. When he realized he was wrong, he did not hesitate to confess that Jesus was the Son of God. 5. God has greater things in store for us. Jesus promised that Nathanael would see much greater things. Just as he did for Nathanael, Christ has plans beyond our imagination for those who follow him with faith. Final reflection. Nathanael began his journey by doubting Jesus, but one true encounter transformed him. His story is a reminder that Christ knows us deeply and calls us, even when we have doubts. If this story touched your heart, like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel to hear more stories of biblical characters who continue to inspire and transform lives. If you liked this video and want to know more about the characters that surrounded the life of Christ and formed the rich biblical story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and send this video to your friends. Turn on notifications to know when new videos come out.